I always hear the quote like that says, get busy in your life, get busy in your life, do something about your life, that you will be always very busy. And when I look back at my life, I always see that I am always very much busy, but I am not productive at all. Like, I am busy at around every single hour of my day, except for sleep and except for daily course. Except from that, I am busy throughout the whole day, but still I don't get anything done. Like, I was supposed to do. I made to-do list that comprises around 5 to 6 tasks every single day. But when I look back at night before bed, I find out that every single one of them have not been done. And the reason was that I was busy, but I was not productive. So what is the difference between that? Like, why cannot I be productive throughout the day? What is the reason that is stopping me from being productive? So I think being productive means doing some doing some valuable works, or doing the stuffs I needed to do in a very that way that it satisfies me, or that it brings some positive feedbacks, that brings some good results to me. A result in the sense that I was supposed to go for a workout at 5 p.m. and I have done that exactly at that time, and I have done and I have did all the works I was supposed to do. So I will call it a productive because I have finished all the tasks I was needed to do. But why was I not being able to do that? Because I was into other stuff. I was thinking that if I do that, or if I get into that, this thing will bring me the result. But in reality, that does not happen. So I have realized that whenever I am writing down those 5 things, from tomorrow I will focus only on those things. For example, if I was supposed to go for a walk after bed, or yes, or after waking up, I will do exactly like that. When I will wake up, I will just go for a walk no matter what. So the number one thing will be to do the exactly that thing that I was supposed to do. I will not I will not complex it. Like, I will do some journal about it. I will write something about it. I will do 45-minute 1 hour meditation about it, some stretching about that. Nothing fancy stuff. I will just wake up and I will just head to the work that I was supposed to do. Right. I think in that way I will also save times, and I can borrow this time, or I can delegate this time into other activities. I can leverage those times. And number two should be that I will track my time. Like, what am I even doing during the whole day, that I cannot focus on one single stuff. What is going on throughout the day? If I can make a sheet around it, and I will find out that every single minute I was busy on screen time. I was going through some interesting stuff, some interesting videos, some interesting stuffs that were popping up on my device, and I got into that. I got into totally busy into that I just forgot what I was supposed to do. So I have to cut down that. And number three thing should be, do the thing no matter what. If I write down the thing that I will do it, so no matter whatever happens, how hard the situation is, I will try my 100% best to do the work. If I compromise one single time that I will be not able to do that, in reality, my mind will always tell me that yes, you are right, you will not be able to do that. So I will always avoid that. I have read David Goggins, I mean, not in the sense like the whole book, but I have read some of his stuff, I have watched some of his stuffs, and the kind of man he became is legendary. Like he have completely mastered his mind. Now, previously his mind was about to in a fight with himself. He was always in a fight mode with his own mind, because his mind wants to do one thing, but his soul wants to do another thing, and there was a constant fight in between them. But at the end of the day, the soul always win. And I know I cannot become like the Goggins. Like it's so tough, and it's not scientifically possible, or I would say it's not scientifically right to do that, because he have gone too much extreme that sometimes he have to go through some medical uh, facilities for his health thing, for his health. So I would not go that far, but I would borrow some ideas from him. Like, don't tell your mind, or don't borrow ideas from your mind to do some things. Always listen to your soul, what he wants. If he agrees with you, like, if your soul tells you that you are doing it right, go for it. Because at the end of the day, that is because at the end of the day, that is what that matters. Your soul is right, and mind will always find some cheap entertainment, some short term happiness, but don't fall for that. Always look for long term goals and long term happiness. Because if you want really happiness and peace from yourself, it always comes from long term goals. When you fight yourself, when you fight a truly when you fight for your achievement, when you fight for your goal, when you put the sweats, when you put the bloods on your goal, on your line, only then you can know the price of your sweat, the price of your blood. Until you do the hard work, until you go through hell. And that's a very interesting and important quote. I have heard that if you don't go through hell, you will never find heaven. And I think that is completely true. If you don't see the lowest of the lowest of the lowest, you will never be able to find what it means to be the highest. If you don't fall for the lowest, if you don't go into the if you don't go into the Mariana Trench, you will never be able to understand how high is really the Everest. If you always live in even if you always live in mountain range, you will never admire if you will never admire the highness or the height of Everest. And it would be better if you go to Mariana Trench, you and then you come back to the Everest. Only then you will understand how the difference is. and then you will find the real deal. So that is what also happens in life. If you don't find the lowest point in your life, or if you don't go through the hell, the tough phases in your life, you will never be able to find, or you will never be able to find joy, true joy, and true happiness, true peace. Your life will feel like a monotonous, that happens, that operates like a traffic signal, that have not, that don't have any excitement. So from tomorrow I will make my life excitement. And that was for, I think, eighth day. This is the eighth day session. I will, I will be shooting for ninth day, and I have some goals, and I will crush those. So I will see this tomorrow, and I will keep my words. So yesterday someone had asked me, like, bro, how do I become a great human being? I mean, that's a very legit question to ask. And I felt happy because someone had asked me a very good question. And good question are rare these days, right? So I told him some genuine answer, like, bro, be humble, help others, be kind to others, and don't look down to people. Always try to help them whenever they need some help, something like that. And then I left. I came back home, and suddenly I had a thought, like, how can I say that a human being is good or bad? I mean, it may sound silly, but the definition of a good human being was not the same in history. What a good human being means today might not be the same yesterday, or might not be the same around 50 years ago, right? What we do today was not the same as 50 years ago, around 1000 years ago. If someone have disrespected us, we would have killed them. Like, no thinking about that. Like, you have disrespected me, I will kill you. That was a norm during those days. Come back to today. If someone insult you, even if someone taunts you badly or bully you, you cannot hurt them back. You cannot slaughter them. You have to go through a legal process. First you have to go to police station to file a yes, case. Then everything will happen through a legal system, right? And you cannot do anything with physically or anything like that. You cannot use weapons for justice. You have to go through legal process, and the process will be smooth. And if the people that have bullied you or that have disrespected you, they need some punishment, the authority will give them that. You cannot do that. You don't have that authority today. But back to 1000 years ago, if someone had if someone have talked bad things about you, bad things about your family values, bad things about your society, or even bad things about your tribe, most of the people would not care. If anything bad happens to them, they will just kill that, right? So then I realized, like, what is good today or what is bad today might not be the same 50 years after or 100 years after, right? So how do we define a good human being? That's a very tough question. Like, there are some situations, like, be kind, helpful, truthful, don't bully others, don't make a false, don't scam people, something like that. That would be eternal. Like, but the level of goodness or the level of badness is not the same, right? 1,000 years ago, a king might have killed his enemies for the reason that the enemy had looked down the king's daughter, or the enemies were planning to revenge a plot against the king, or the enemy have plotted to loot the country or to loot the kingdom. In that case, in that case, the government, in that case, the king will hunt them down, or and they will be killed. But today, if some government bodies, like if a foreign country do something bad, do something bad things with other countries, then they cannot fight with each other and kill themselves. They have to go through a legal system, a justice system. That's the norm today, right? So the entire process must be smooth. The entire process is set upon to be upon peace. Even if someone is violent, the system will not encourage the other people to go through the violent option to have the peace deal, or to have the right thing, right? So in the process of doing that, we have eliminated the violation, the over violation. If someone violated the rule, or if someone have do something crime scenes, right, and the other person have been affected, still so the affected man or the affected person cannot go directly and threaten him or just slaughter him. They have to go through the system to make a better situation out of the thing. And in that case, this is the norm today. And I think in the future this will be more and more like uh, normal. Like, even in India today, there are many regions that these things do not go through the smooth processes. Things are just like bad. But I think in due time this will change, and the process of justice, that the process of getting a peace deal done will be more smooth in the next 20-25 years.